Internet, I'm Alleycat, and today we are making the Leblanc curry and coffee from Persona 5. What I'm so recklessly spinning right now is a tool that'll help us later. Persona 5 is one of my favorite games. Oh,
for real?
Let's start with our mise en place. We're going to start by chopping up an onion. To make this easy, make sure to hit a crit and mince it finely. This is especially useful if your onion is as massive as this one. If you have a normal sized onion, use about half, but for me it was like a quarter. Seriously, this thing is like the size of a kitschy's ass. It's massive. Peel and chop up a carrot. That crit thing was kinda lame, wasn't it? We're gonna do the same thing with an apple, but this time you wanna grate it. You don't have to do it on your cutting board, but for some reason I did. Also peel and mince some garlic and grate some ginger. An easy trick is to do the same thing to the garlic. What happens to your heart when you realize Persona 5 is never getting a switchboard? Crush it. But with your hands. Also may have forgot to show the ginger. Now that we have our vegetables chopped, we're going to move on to the spices. The game describes the curry as complementing the taste of the coffee. For now, add 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of turmeric, and half a teaspoon of cumin. Take some coriander seeds and do what your bud Tevin has been doing in Kamoshina's palace for the last year with no end in sight, and grind. Add about half teaspoon to your mixture. Add a pinch of salt, give it a good mix. You're gonna want it looking like the goth doctor. Very fine. Let's switch the music up with the best palace music. I said best palace music. There we go. Whip out the stove and throw in a ton of butter, like half a stick. Swirl it around until it melts like your brain when you realize this is a 100-hour long game. Would you believe me if I told you I finished this game in a week? Got me feeling real smooth-brained. You don't have to aggressively fail at chopping your butter up, I just failed. Make it like you do when you reach level 10 with the hot doctor and spice it up. Let it bloom for a few seconds and add an equal amount of flour that you added butter. So for me, it was about 4 tablespoons. Mix till combined till it forms a sort of paste-type consistency, and bring it all together. Set that aside and bring a pot over to the stovetop. Heat a few teaspoons of high-heat oil. Take your choice of meat and brown it. I chose only to brown half because I'm lazy, but if you want to go all the way, you can do every piece. You can even use chicken or beef, it's up to you. Make sure the meat is like every girl a Persona fan will talk to, completely dry, before you put it into the pot. But really though, make sure the beef is not wet, otherwise you'll start boiling in the pot instead of browning. Fish out your meat and put it in something else like Joker does when he reaches Confidant rank 10. You're going to want to make room for all the other stuff we're going to start cooking in the pot, but we'll eventually add everything back later. Once you're done, add your onion, garlic, grated apple, ginger, and stir. The apple might look a little weird, but that's because it oxidized. If you want to prevent this, you can add a little lemon juice, but it's perfectly fine to eat either way. Give everything a good stir and make sure everything's fragrant. Make your way back over to the pot. Once the vegetables are nice and fragrant, add the meat back to the pot, all of it this time. Top with enough stock to cover everything. Make sure the stock is the same as the type of meat you're using. You'll end up like Joker on Valentine's after romancing every girl. Content, but at the same time severely demoralized. Also, add in 3 bay leaves. Patiently add in a little honey for sweetness. And once everything is up to a simmer, we're going to add our spice paste. Add it little by little, making sure it's fully combined each time before adding more. Make sure to add everything in increments or it'll become like Smash players who think they need to train instead of taking a shower. Clumpy and gross. Yeah, I might have lost in pools, but at least I smell nice. I'm kidding, Smash is fun. The roux is supposed to thicken the curry up, so make sure you do not skip this step. And now for our secret ingredient, dark chocolate. Salt and pepper to taste and give it a good stir. Once it's combined, we're going to cover and do what Arsene does for bad Smash players. Carry it to the stovetop. They say Joker is a top tier, but Big Brother Arsene does the hard work. I mean, have you seen that back here? Cover and let simmer for as long as it takes for you to find the Ginza line, about an hour. Switch up the music to suit a coffee shop, but today, no one's telling us to go to sleep. The way the coffee is made in the game is in a pour-over style, so we need beans, a grinder, a scale, our kettle, our filters, and of course, much like Joker, our dripper. We're going to use a 1 to 16.7 gram ratio of coffee to water. You can go up or down in terms of water, but this is about the sweet spot. I'm not going to go too much into water temperature, but for today I used water at 93 degrees Celsius. Now I'm no authority on coffee, but having over 6 years of experience, I do know what I'm talking about. Today's method is courtesy of our favorite weird coffee person, James Hoffman, our other favorite European. Start by rinsing your filter with hot water. The This will not only remove the papery taste, but also heat up your cup. Once it's nice and hot, we're going to do to it what we do to Arsene 5 minutes into the game and immediately get rid of it. Dump your coffee in, even out the bed, and pour double the weight of the coffee and let it sit for 35 seconds. This is called a bloom and releases gases trapped inside. For the bloom, you can actually do 30 to 45 seconds, but the longer you go, the more diminishing your returns are. Pour up to half your total water relatively quickly in circles, and then slow down, continuously moving in circles. You want to make sure the extraction is even, while also evenly coating the entire bed. When the brew has drawn down all the way, it should be a completely flat bed. Give it a stir clockwise and counterclockwise. This gets grounds off the side of the cone. Give your dripper a little spin once it's safe, and tap it like you wish you could Ryuji, and let it drain. This is called the row spin. It helps with getting a flat bed. This is the part where I talk about why this is my favorite game of all time. It is my favorite game of all time, but instead we're just going to watch the coffee drain down. You ever find it weird how we bought the same game twice for a little extra content? No regrets. This total process should take between 3 and 4 minutes. Guess the name of the song that's playing right now. Hint, it's my name. This track always gets me emotional, but I won't get pissy like Morgana and run away. We still gotta finish up our curry. So add your carrots and a few tablespoons of yogurt towards the end of cooking. Give it a good stir. Ignore the coffee I drank all of, and plate up with some rice and the curry on the side. Smile at the fact that you did a better job of the edit this time, and spoon some curry beside the rice. Make sure you have some coffee left in your cup, and let's dig in. The curry was really good, and I'm not just saying that because I didn't eat all day. It's got the right amount of spice and would probably benefit from a little bit of lemon, but I would definitely recommend it. Bruh, forget saving the world, I just eat this. Akechi pancake jokes are not funny. Also, sorry for stealing your outro, Alpharad. It was for a bit. Forward, Ariel.